As a culture, we are taught to spend most of our time preparing for pregnancy and birth. I mean, technically, our culture tells us to prepare for baby showers and get all the right baby stuff. And all of this is fun, but did anyone warn you about postpartum? It's like everything is surrounding pregnancy and birth, and then bam, you're wearing diapers too. Not to mention, most women are just getting a brief 6 week checkup, but the postpartum period actually lasts more than an entire year. And if we're being really honest, the postpartum journey is really for the rest of your life after having a baby. So, in all seriousness, 10 to 20% of mothers experience postpartum depression, and that only accounts for the ones who have come forward about it. There is a lot that goes into the postpartum phase of life, but today, let's talk about some of the struggles that we see: the sleep difficulties, breastfeeding challenges, mood swings, and the physical recovery complications, because they all share a common root cause: nervous system dysregulation. This can happen from the physical trauma of pregnancy and birth, the emotional trauma from not having the birth experience that you had envisioned, or even any chemical trauma that occurred from the interventions. So let's pause here and look at some of the facts. Research indicates that during delivery, a baby experiences compression forces ranging from 120 to over 500 millimeters of mercury on their delicate head and neck, which is an extraordinary amount of pressure on such a tiny structure. Meanwhile, mothers undergo one of the most dramatic hormonal shifts that they will ever experience, with estrogen and progesterone plummeting within 24 hours of birth, while prolactin rises to support milk production. This hormonal shift directly impacts the neurotransmitters in the brain and the balance of the autonomic nervous system. What we see in practice is that these neurological and hormonal shifts can create a perfect storm that conventional medicine often misses, focusing instead on separate symptoms and the chemical imbalance itself rather than addressing the underlying nervous system dysregulation. To understand what's truly going on here, let's start with what's happening at birth. So, birth is a marathon, both physically, emotionally, mentally, and neurologically for mom and for baby. So, for mothers, subluxation commonly occurs in those transitional neurospinal areas, which affects everything from recovery, core strength, and overall nervous system regulation. For babies, the birth-related subluxation most often affects their upper neck, the cranium, and this is where the vagus nerve and other cranial nerves come from, out of the brain stem. So birth interventions, although sometimes medically necessary, they can significantly increase the risk of subluxations. So I want to talk to you about what we call the perfect storm, which is dysautonomia in the postpartum period. When subluxation presents and persists, it often leads to dysautonomia, which is a state of imbalance between the sympathetic, that fight or flight side, and the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest branches of the autonomic nervous system. This dysregulation commonly shows up as a sympathetic dominance, where the body stays stuck in a heightened stress response, making it difficult to relax and sleep even when you're totally exhausted. Other signs include persistent anxiety, digestive problems, challenges with milk production and letdown during breastfeeding, heightened pain sensitivity, and even delaying the healing process. So this stress directly impacts the hormonal balance. It affects everything from your mood regulation to your milk production. Another aspect that affects postpartum and breastfeeding is the connection between mother and baby. This is a profound neurological relationship where each nervous system, both yours and baby's, directly influences the other through co-regulation. A newborn's autonomic nervous system is still developing, and they're not able to self-regulate on their own. So instead, babies depend on that close physical contact with their mother to help regulate their heart rate, their breathing patterns, their body temperature, and their own stress hormones. So when a mother's nervous system is regulated and balanced, her baby tends to settle more easily, feed more effectively, and develop more securely. On the other hand, when a mother experiences nervous system dysregulation, her baby often exhibits those signs of distress, which creates that challenging cycle where mom and baby are continuously triggering each other's stress response. So, how can we help? Well, here at Rising Health, we love to have postpartum moms and their babies in our office. First, their care starts with a comprehensive assessment, including detailed neurological insight scans, which show our doctors how your nervous system is functioning. For mothers, the postpartum adjustments help restore proper pelvic function. It reduces the neural tension in the upper cervical area to improve that vagus nerve function. And it also improves nervous system communication to help support that hormone balance, improving your sleep quality and promoting optimal breast tissue function. That's so important for breastfeeding. For babies, the gentle adjustments release that neural tension that occur from the birth process, which improves cranial nerve function for better sucking and swallowing. It improves their vagus nerve function for improved digestion, and it also supports proper head shape development. These adjustments work by stimulating specific neurological receptors, which provide the brain with updated information and allows it to reestablish proper regulation and function. Neurologically focused chiropractic care addresses the root cause of common postpartum challenges rather than just managing the symptoms. By restoring proper neurological function through gentle, specific adjustments, it creates a foundation of balance and regulation that supports healing, bonding, and thriving during this critical time in life. If you are preparing for birth, or if you're currently in the postpartum period, let's get you scanned. Your postpartum journey deserves more than a standard 6-week checkup. DMS to get started.